this is my 1998 Ferrari 456 GTA. Notice I've done a lot of videos with the Evo and a couple other videos with the Lincoln, but haven't really gotten into too much detail with the Ferrari. I bought this back in 2017. I got it for a really good price. This model is the 456 GTA. So there was a GT, a GTA, 456M GT, and 456M GTA. These are front engine V12 Ferraris. This one is automatic. This has a 5.5 liter V12. Stock, this would have been about 436 horsepower from the factory. Now these cars, it's kind of strange. It's kind of cool. The engine's in the front. The transmission is actually in the rear. Transmission is mounted basically under the trunk. So it's got the torque tube. But yeah, from the factory, it's 436 horsepower roughly. What's nice about these cars is, as you can tell, all the spark plugs are very accessible. You can actually do a lot of the work on these cars yourself, and you don't have to do an engine out service to work on them. Now, I haven't really done any research to verify it, but I was told that this was kind of like the last of the flip-up headlight Ferraris. So that, you know, I know the M model probably would have been the very last, but I have heard before that the 456s were the last that had flip-up lights. And they were also kind of like the first of the more modern Ferraris. And this car specifically was designed to be a competitor more towards like something like a Bentley Continental GT. It wasn't really meant to be competition to anything like Lamborghini or anything like that. It actually was supposed to be more of a grand touring car. So it was more for comfort than anything else. Now, as far as the interior goes, there's not really much here. The interior is basically just a lot of leather, power windows, power locks. It's got a bunch of gauges that monitor, fuel level, oil pressure, coolant temperature, engine oil temperature, and then a clock. Speedometer goes up to 200 miles an hour. And from what I've been told, this car actually had a top speed of about 194 miles an hour. So, at the time, it was supposed to be the fastest four-passenger car around. And yes, it is four-passenger. It does have back seats. Although, it's not much room there. There's a center console way back there. I think that's an ashtray there. It does have adjustable suspension. The suspension basically is just, soft, medium, stiff. Other than that, the funny part is a lot of the rest of the stuff is just, kind of redundant switches. There's really like rear defrost, gas trunk release, but then there's also ones for parking lights, which you got a stock on the side of the center console or the steering column that's also for the lights. Now the funny thing is, for air conditioning and heat and everything, so you just kind of set it to whatever temperature you want. And to turn on the air conditioning, you let off the stop button. If you want to turn it off, you hit stop. Don't really get it, don't really understand it, but... And then again, this is for your parking lights, even though that's also for your parking lights. That's your hazard button. The radio is mounted vertically and very similar to the Ferrari Daytona. This is another ashtray. Unfortunately, The car was at a shop for about 6 months last year, getting some service done, and a lot of stuff was put in the trunk and got it really dirty. But this does, I did have the factory toolkit, which is really cool. Comes with all the wrenches and screwdrivers. It also comes with extra belt and some more tools. So that's pretty cool. A lot of times these kind of go missing, so really kind of nice that this one came with it. This other container is actually a tire inflator. So you see under here, all those bolts, basically if you unbolt those bolts, the whole trunk floor actually is removable underneath this cover, and that is to access the top of the transmission. Now this car, the trunk space isn't the biggest, but they did have a luggage set, matched luggage basically, that would have fit kind of really neatly and organized in there, so that's pretty cool. Now my Ferrari specifically has the Tubi exhaust, and sounds way better than what these things sound like from the factory. I guess they're just extremely quiet. And the cool part is this actually is active aero. From what I understand, when you're driving, this will actually lower in the front to kind of suck down air to push the bottom of the car down. It does have like a self-leveling suspension. On this car, unfortunately, it does still kind of act up. It's not the most reliable. When I bought this car, it came with these wheels, but in chrome. And from the factory, it would have had these silver. So it's like I ended up actually finding another set and had those powder coated, like basically restored and everything. But overall, these cars are great cars. I hear that they're really reliable if they've been maintained. Since I've owned it since 2017. I may have put maybe $3,000 or $4,000 into it as far as maintenance and repairs. There are some things that I still need to do, like the headlight motors are starting to get a little weak. I've been told that those can be rebuilt, so I might try to find a place to get that rebuilt. Another issue, at least that's common with the 456, is when you put the windows up, and I don't know if I can do it on the passenger side. Yeah, I could show you on the passenger side. This is a typical issue with the 456. The alignment of the window seems to be kind of wobbly. Now, inside the door for the window mechanism, that the scissor mechanism, basically over time, it's an aluminum pin that they use that is in the center of the scissor mechanism. Over time, that starts to wear out, and then you get this like slot where the window wants to do this. I bought stainless steel ones that some guy made. He machines them, and I installed them on both sides. But this side here, the previous owner apparently had some mechanic kind of tweak this one a little bit more, so there's adjustments you can make, but unfortunately I haven't had the time. I got to take the interior door panel off to get to it. Now this car unfortunately will make a lot of buzzing sounds. It's kind of irritating, but I'll start it up. Naturally aspirated, nothing, no turbos, nothing like that. the craziest part about this car is back in 1998, if you were going to order a brand new Ferrari and you wanted the most expensive Ferrari you can get at that time, this actually was that model. My specific car back in 1998 would have been about $240,000. And that's in US dollars back in that time period. So this was the most expensive model you could have bought. And apparently they were very popular, mostly in places like the Middle East, where people like the Sultan of Brunei had 62 that were totally stock, and then had about, I think, another 12 that were custom models. So he had ones that were sedans, a couple that were convertible, and a couple that were station wagons. So kind of a very interesting car, very unloved, like kind of forgotten about model, but it is actually a really cool car. I'm really glad I bought this one. When I was shopping for a Ferrari, I was looking at 308s and Mondials and, you know, other less expensive models, and kind of came across this one on Craigslist. It was out in San Diego, and it's a deal where I'm like, you know what? What the hell? I'll go out there, take a look. Brought a certified check with me just in case I decided to buy it, and ended up buying it on a Friday. Kind of stayed out there from Friday to Sunday. Drove around a little bit in Southern California, which was really cool. The guy I bought it from, he was he worked as a professor at Harvard, Stanford, and UCLA Medical, I believe. And he had 6 cars and only a 3-car garage. He just bought the 6th car, and that's the reason he put this one up for sale. So, you know, I was lucky to buy it from that guy because he didn't really care about money as much, and he just wanted it to go to someone who would take care of it and wasn't looking to turn around and flip it for more money right away. And he was 76 years old. His girlfriend was 86 years old. And that's why this one, you know, they specifically chose the automatic. Now, the cool part is, although it's an automatic, the transmission, I've been told, I haven't verified this 100%, is basically a General Motors transmission. So if anything does go bad, the transmission basically is the same type of transmission that they used in cars like the Cadillac Seville SDS, from what I've been told. Again, I haven't really verified that, but if that's the case, that's kind of nice. Because it's front engine, I don't have to worry about engine out services unless it's, you know, major work like, you know, head gaskets or anything like that. So that's pretty nice. For a first Ferrari, I think it was a pretty good choice. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up this video today. Like, comment, subscribe. If you guys want to see more, just leave some comments. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be making more. So thank you for watching.